Hello, beautiful friends. This is Erica with Krista Rose Insights, here to do a relationship reading for the collective Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine. And this is intended to be this is obviously a general reading, but whenever it's also intended to be timeless. So whenever you come across this video and the messages resonate, that is Spirit's way of getting you the messages when you need them at the right time. So I want to say a huge thank you and a welcome to each and every one of you that's here with this video. It really is my honor to be able to do this work, and I appreciate each and every single one of you that's here on this channel and really helping to keep this space a very empowering and uplifting space, and a place for people to feel supported. So you guys are awesome, all of you, whether you're just watching these videos, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, or those of you that do private work with me, the sessions, the healing sessions, those of you who've donated. I just really appreciate each and every one of you. And it really is my honor to do this work. And let's see, any other announcements before we get started? So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, and see where they're both at in this journey. And we're going to take a look at that information here. And what we have here is this beautiful apophyllite. I have a lot of this around my home. It's just such a beautiful stone. It comes in green and clear. And apophyllite is a really beautiful stone for connecting heaven and earth, to help opening up the channel of communication between dimensions, between the angelic realm. It's a really, really beautiful stone. So if you want to look up the metaphysical properties of apophyllite, you will get some additional messages as to what it's here to support specifically for you. So let's get a sense of what's going on with the Divine Masculine here. Let's see what his overall energy is. Woohoo! Sacral chakra. Somebody is feeling a little feisty. So he's in this energy right now. He could be feeling very, very passionate, very sexual. He could be feeling very creative, but it's also the energy of manifesting, really, because this is the energy. It feels like there's a lot of things coming to fruition for the Divine Masculine this week. In many of the general readings that I've done or things I've posted over on Instagram, it's been this similar message, which is he's really coming into this energy of things starting to happen in his life, things that he's set intentions for, things that he's worked for, and it's harvest time is what they're saying. It's fall, it's harvest. Even the color of the sacral chakra reminds me of autumn. So it's really about things starting to pop in his life, and it's like he's starting to discover a little bit more about what this whole journey of being a divine being is all about, really. So this is where his overall energy is right now. Let's see where the Divine Feminine is in her energy. And I'm using the Psychic Tarot by John Holland, and then this is the Oceanic Tarot for those of you that are curious. Okay, so Divine Feminine just had 2 fly out for her overall energy. So we're getting the Vortex and we're getting the 3 of Swords. So it does feel like the Divine Feminine currently, her energy is in a little bit of processing some more of stuff that she thought she had moved through relating to past relationships, relating to heartbreak, grief, from the past with this 3 of Swords energy. And it is causing her this little bit of a swirl. It's like she's in this place where she just feels like she's being caught up in something. And she's feeling a little bit out of control with it, because it's like, the Divine Feminines have been feeling pretty steady lately here, but there has been this wave of all of a sudden really, really deep old stuff coming to the surface, and it almost overwhelms. It's like, it's very intense because it's very deep and it's very, very ingrained, but it's coming up to be moved through. So the Divine Feminine right now, her overall energies, she may be processing. I know, this new moon has been pretty intense. The new moon we had the other day, on Sunday. It was like the deepest of the deepest came up for many of my clients around this time, where it's just like, whew, just a little much, right? Okay, so this is where, so she's a little overwhelmed emotionally and dealing with some old stuff, and he's feeling like stuff is starting to happen for him. So let's get a sense here where he is right now in his headspace. Where's the divine masculine in his headspace and in his heart space, please? So where is he in his headspace? Yeah, here it is, a new beginning. New beginning in the physical plane, prosperity beginning, a new chapter starting. You know, the aces are the beginning of a very, and in this deck it's called Prosperity Begins. So he is feeling like, it's like he's getting excited about the stuff that's starting to happen. Remember I was saying stuff starting to pop and it's harvest time, and look, here are all these fruits of his labors coming to fruition. So this is where he is mentally right now. In his heart space, he is dealing with a little bit of fears, and it's interesting because we're getting the same energy here, and they're both called temptation. Isn't that interesting? In his heart space. So he's also dealing with some fears. This new beginning, this excitement doesn't come without some concern, with some trepidation, with some things coming up. It could be the energy also of, you know, just about the fear of being, of not being in control. So in his heart space, he could still be dealing with feeling like he wants to control what's going on, and his heart's kind of like, it's not quite up to you, buddy, mentally. It's up to the heart to drive it. So there is this energy of where it's like something bigger than him is taking over in the heart space. But it is funny, we're getting the same card in both the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine right now. So you guys definitely could really be feeling each other too. So let's see where the Divine Feminine is in her head space and her heart space right now. Where is she in her head space? So this is, oh my gosh, this card came up yesterday on Instagram, what I posted for the Divine Feminine energy. King of Swords. She's feeling very, in this deck it's called Ambition. She's feeling very driven. She's very clear-headed. She's not being overly emotional. She's also very, it's like she's wanting to make sure she sees all sides, and she has clarity, and she wants this clarity. So in her head space, she's feeling very clear, even though it's like in her head space she's good. The heart space has been feeling a little bit like, whew, stuff coming up. But it is that she's also trying to really come forward with her truth, staying in her truth despite the swirling and this stuff. This is the lesson right now for the Divine Feminine, is how do you, it's fine to be good and confident and centered when things are going well, or you're not faced with a trigger or something coming up to be healed. It's a whole nother ballgame with how do you maintain your center when you're triggered. So this is really what feels like it's coming up for the Divine Feminine right now. So if you're getting triggered, Divine Feminine, remember, this is, you know, this is where the rubber hits the road. This is where the tough get going. It's where when stuff gets harder, that's where you're really building that muscle of how to stay centered within that. Where is she in her heart space right now? The Chariot. Movement. So, you know, she does want to move this forward. She is feeling pretty confident. She's trying to be disciplined. She's trying to keep her emotions in check. She knows that the stuff coming up, this is like this energy has thrown people off their game, the Divine Feminine, where, you know, even my most steady clients, it's like out of nowhere something comes up and all of a sudden you're back in the old energy and you don't like it. Okay, so this is really about having discipline over these things and you being in charge, where it's like, listen, the heart is supposed to be in charge here. The heart is supposed to lead the head. Isn't this interesting? Because we have the head energy here, the mental energy in the head space. But in the heart energy, we're getting, you're not in charge. I'm in charge. The divine's in charge. Intention is in charge. So, interesting. So let's see how the Divine Masculine is currently, relating to the Divine Feminine. There it is. That just jumped. This is the Emperor. Check him out. He's feeling very emperor-like here. He's very, he's starting to feel his mojo. He's like, you know what? Stuff's starting to happen. I can see this new beginning. I'm getting all this new stuff happening that I have somehow created. I don't quite know how I've done it, but I've done it, and here it is. And he's feeling a little bit badass right now. And this is how he's relating to the divine feminine. Like, it's like he's coming more into this energy of being divine masculine for her. Oh, and guys, stay tuned. I am going to pull some cards on, a couple cards on the union energies here in a bit. I forgot to say that at the beginning. But let's see what he's currently being challenged with. Yeah. It's funny. It's interesting because he is relating as the divine masculine, but he is having some sleepless nights. He is having a little bit of mental anguish about some stuff. Again, likely because of this heart energy, this temptation, these fears, these things are coming up. So it's like the divine masculine this is how he's relating to his divine feminine. Yet he's still struggling with the mental anguish that comes with some of these things coming up. So you know, it's like, you know, when you discover that you're this powerful being and then you're like, oh crap, look at all the stuff that comes with that responsibility. It's like, yes, this is what I've wanted all along. And then, oh my God, now I have to step up and now I have to really face these sides of myself, because he's stepping into being a better version of himself. He's stepping into being more of who he's ever been in his life. And, you know, it is exciting. It is, exhilarating, and it can be scary. So that's where he's at. Let's see how the divine feminine is relating to her divine masculine right now. King of Wands. Yeah. King of Wands, it's funny. The King of Wands is somebody that's very motivational. He's very inspirational. But in this deck, it's called practicality. So it's funny, we're getting ambition and practicality. So she's kind of balancing this energy of, you know, taking action from truth. She's in this place of like, okay, time for me to live and operate from my truth, take action from my truth. I'm not going to be overly emotional about it. And then for him, and it's like divine masculine, she's wanting him to say, all right, let's take some practical steps here. Let's take some time to take some action. Because she's like, listen, I'm stepping up. I've done some of my thing, but it's time for you to take some action. So she could be just being, I'm getting an energy of being very matter of fact with divine feminine right now, where it's like, okay, this is it, this is the thing, and this is the thing, and this is what I'm going to do, and he's going to do that, and I'm just going to focus on me. But there is also this energy of like, if you want to take some action, divine masculine, now would be a really good time. Very interesting. Let's see where the divine feminine, what she's being challenged with right now. I feel like it's already come up here, but let's see if there's any additional message. Yeah, she's feeling this Five of Wands energy. She's competing with her head and her heart, really. She's being challenged with this conflict. She's being conflicted. There could be things going on around her that she is, it's having conflicting goals, having things in her life that she wants, but they're not all going together. So this could be relating to work, to mission, to love, to anything. But it's interesting that in this deck it's called competition. I do feel like this divine feminine is kind of more in this masculine energy right now. More so. But then she's getting thrown in this emotional stuff. So it feels like she's battling trying to be practical with the emotions. It's like whereas I feel like for advice for divine feminine, this is coming through, I'm just going to share it. It's time for you to not resist the flow and the cyclical nature of being a divine feminine, of being in balance with your feminine energy. It does feel like you're feeling overly masculine right now. Look at all these kings. and the mental, the swords, and then the Five of Wands. It's just in competition. This is masculine energy. And the Divine Feminine's gift is to be in her feminine. Her gift to the Divine Masculine is to be in her feminine energy. And so, yeah, this feels like a much longer conversation but for a general reading, but I did want to bring that up. I want to get a couple cards on the union energies. Yeah, I'm going to pull some cards on the union. Actually, I'm getting the message to pull 2 cards on the union. I was just going to do 1, but they're saying no, give 2. What's the current energies? What are the union messages of the union energies right now? And we're getting Door to Spirit in reverse. And let's get one more. Anxieties. Here's this suffering and silence energy, anxiety energy. Mental energy here too. It does feel like the fears are blocking a little bit of this ascension. Like this is what the union energies are. Breaking free of these fears, because that's what's stopping this door to spirit being open. This door to ascension, this spiritual lesson. This is a gateway to a new spiritual truth, but it's closed, right? Being in the reverse. So it does feel like there are these older fears that are coming in, because the anxiety card, this is a card where it's like she's really, really worried. She's used to being in this anxious energy, and there's a storm outside, but it's also that she could be thinking it's worse than it really is, but she's kind of stuck in her head. So for me, it feels like the job right now for this collective, if this is resonating for you, is to really break free from these fears, the heartbreak, and the mental energy here coming up for the Divine Feminine, and the fears coming up for Divine Masculine, because they're both getting the Temptation card. They're both dealing with the fears and the illusions that are coming through to be broken through right now. So it's no surprise that this is what's coming in the union energies. So guys, hang in there. Really start to not let the fears get the best of you. Definitely really move through that if you can. Get it centered, get into the heart energy, get into the space. So this is it's a good time, even though it's some challenges here, that it is a very good time for both counterparts to really move through some big stuff. So, that is the reading. What I'm going to do now is, if this reading is resonating for you, I'm going to hop over and do an extended reading over on Vimeo. This is intended as, if this is resonating for you, like you feel like this is reading your situation, then going over to Vimeo, it's going to be the extended reading. So I'm pretty much tuning into your situation, and you'll get a lot more messages over there. We're going to talk about more on the union energies. We're going to get into advice. We're going to get into what each of the divine counterparts needs to clear and move through, where they're at in their journeys right now. So I'm going to head on over to Vimeo and do the extended reading there. And if you leave me here, I hope that you guys have a fabulous day, and hope that these messages have been helpful. If you want a private reading, the information is down in the description box below. And if you haven't followed me over on Instagram, I do almost daily readings over there, over on Instagram, that I don't do here. So join me on Instagram at Crystal Rose Insights. I'm still relatively new over there, starting it out. And until next time, I wish you guys abundant love. Bye.